Part 4 ending to the unstable one, others down below. I want to hear her say that she wants to work on the marriage. I want her to start meeting some of my N. I want to feel safe. Since she is still in the fog, I can't expect that right now. Did you lie to your MC as mine has done? I can't wait to see what happens Wednesday when we attend our first MC session since the PA was discovered. I hope she becomes more honest and reveals more information to me. Now that our MC knows she has made a huge lie, I expect her to be a little firmer with her. If not, she will be fired. Sorry to hear you got busted, but at least she now knows. Last night my WW came home from work and our dinner was very quiet. I noticed she received a gift from one of her girlfriends, the one I like, for her birthday. I asked her about it and she sarcastically said you can search it after. Then she went to help the kids with their homework and was getting impatient with my son who was teasing my DD. About a half dozen people called to say happy birthday, but she refused to talk to anyone. Then she lay on the couch with her blanket and just closed her eyes for a couple of hours. I don't think she was sleeping, just seemed very depressed. I don't know what she was so depressed about. Could she have had some contact with OM which made her depressed? Could she be depressed that it was her B-day but it wasn't a memorable one? Could she be depressed that she had no contact with OM or didn't receive anything from him? I don't know, but she was in an awful mood. I really felt bad for her last night. Even with all that she has done, I still can't stop loving her. This morning it was more of the same. My 1049 wrote her a short letter and left it for her last night in which she said things like, "Think about what you are doing. You have chosen friends of poor character. You have taken 10 years off my life with what you are doing. Read this letter 7 times. Your husband and children should be your first priority." So that probably didn't help her feel any better. So not a very good night considering it was her B-day. My WW family is starting to put more and more pressure on her. Is this a good thing or will it cause her stress that will push her more into the fog? I personally think it is a good idea since they pulled back in September and that only allowed her to continue the unchecked. Also, is it a LB for me to continually ask if there has been contact between WW and OM? I have told her that I need to know immediately if there is contact so we can take steps to make sure it doesn't happen again. I feel like if I don't ask, she won't divulge the information. I don't know if the A is ongoing or we are in recovery, but this is a difficult time right now. At least when you know the A is on, you have some tools to fight it. This doesn't look promising. Last night we had MC and the C focused on my W again and what she needs to feel better about the M. I was getting so frustrated, and after the session I told my W I will not be going back. The MC told my WW to consider separation as a way of sorting through her feelings. She didn't really condemn my WW indiscretion with OM. It makes me sick. My WW is still very resentful and angry towards me and how unaffectionate I was in RM. She remembers all the little things that I did or didn't do that made her feel unloved. She can't stop focusing on the negatives. She has no romantic feelings for me. She doesn't think they will ever come back. She says she worries about me if we separate because I have lost weight and feel stressed. Oh, that makes me feel better. She said she feels no remorse for her infidelity even though she should. She wanted to hurt me for the things I did to her. She then started sobbing and said I miss the kindness he gave to me, referring to OM, so I interpret that as NC is ongoing. I didn't know what to say to her. OM revolts me and she is pining over him. What do I say? So, things do not look good right now, and to be honest, I really don't think this is going to work out. She just has too much baggage and won't let it go. I even offered to live in the basement to give her some space, but she said it's not that I can't stand the sight of you, I just need time and space. So, I asked her to define space and she told me she will think about it. She also said that she wants to move far away with the kids so she can get away from everything. She just wants to spend time with the kids and not have to worry about making a meal on a weekend or cleaning up. She also said she wants to see if she will miss me and the things I do for her. The OM is single and has had other relationships at his work. Go figure. My WW is defending him and I don't want to put him down for it. Might drive her back to him. It is a fine line. We know that he is only there for one thing. Throw in the kids, bills and other problems and he is gone. My WW can't see that right now. She really misses him. I don't think she will leave. She may try to have me served with separation papers and see how I react, but she wouldn't leave the kids. I don't think she would go with OM and the only place for her would be her parents. But they are against what she is doing and she doesn't want to be near them because of her guilt. I just have a feeling that she has made up her mind to separate, but I don't know what her plans are. I have an appointment with a lawyer on Monday morning to see what my options would be. I don't want to be blindsided with this. I would never initiate the separation, but I want to be prepared in case I get served with the papers. She may want to do it without lawyers, and at that point I will say I don't want to, but if she wants to go, it is her decision. I hate this, really, I do. I wish my life was back to normal so I could concentrate on other things. She really doesn't see the hurt she is and will be causing. I just sat and looked at my kids last night and thought, what are they going to do if we tell them mommy and daddy are splitting? My son worships me. I love my daughter more than life. I hate what she is doing to us and our family. It is selfish, selfish, selfish. Last night my WW came home and barely acknowledged me, as usual. My 1049 had prepared some food for us, so I prepared the table and got a bottle of wine out. We had dinner and my DS said, "Dad, come play with me," to which I replied, "Just let me clean up the dishes first." So, he said, "Let Mommy do it, you can play with me," to which I said that's not fair to Mommy that she has to clean up and Daddy gets to play with you. So, I started cleaning up while my WW sat at the table with a glass of wine in her hand, just kind of looking into space. After a while she got up and I told her she could play with our kids while I cleaned up. She seemed to be having a good time playing with them. So, I cleaned up the dish and made the kids lunches for school the next day. She always complained that I never helped making their lunches. I've been doing this a lot more lately. Once I finished, I came over to play with the kids and my WW went to lay on the other couch to rest. Later on, she went to work out on our treadmill and then went to bed. I read the kids a bedtime story and then put them to bed. So, it was kind of an uneventful night last night with no separation talk. I just tried to keep Plana going. Although she is very cold and distant, she really hasn't had an angry outburst towards me lately. But she does blame me for things that I really have no control over. Things like the letter her mom wrote her. I'm hoping that indicative of a good Plana. She spews DJs a lot and that hurts me, but it is to be expected while she is in her current state. I really hope she is in NC and starts to come out of the fog soon. I know it is still early, but I am always looking for clues that she is trying to warm up to me. My WW loves the kids very much and I'm sure that is the main reason we are still together. In the past I used to get upset with my WW when she LB and I would withdraw from her and the kids. I was a classic Ka. By withdrawing it would make her more upset and she would build up resentment. Prior to her A, I could not see the effect of my Ka was having on the R. Sure, I could feel it was making things worse, but I couldn't rationally analyze it like I can now. Why am I saying this? Because prior to the A, I would withdraw from her and the kids and that would put more pressure on her. This is one of the things I have learned throughout this crisis. I no longer withdraw from her or the kids and I try not to be a Ka. I try and take pressure of the kids off of her by doing things for them that she would normally do. She has told me she thinks I am using the kids against her. What she can't see is that I have built a stronger, more loving relationship with them and they have responded to this. So, in her eyes right now, it looks like I'm using them, but it is just one of the permanent changes I have made in myself that has a wonderful effect. My WW said she wanted to spend some time alone with the kids this weekend. That kind of hurt, but I will respect her wishes to do so. I hope she changes her mind. Weekend update. We spent most of Saturday cleaning the house, something my WW has really neglected in the last year or so. She spent almost all day in the kitchen cleaning the cupboards and behind the appliances. I helped do some of the heavy lifting and mechanical stuff. I was cleaning another part of the house. She complained how she hated our kitchen and that we were living there 6 years and still no backsplash, a shot at me. She did a super job with the cleaning and I gave her some admiration by saying, "You must be exhausted because you did a super job and the kitchen now looks like new." I also asked her if she wanted me to cook lunch on Sunday so she could relax a little. These are little things, but they are all part of Plan A. In the evening we cleaned up some more. I vacuumed and she cleaned the bathrooms. On Sunday, I cleaned up the basement, which looked like a disaster area with all the kids' toys. She had said she wanted to clean it up, so I took the initiative. My WW purged out the closet. Then we had lunch together as a family and my DS tried a few of the jokes I taught him on his sister. In the afternoon my WW wanted to go pick up her new fall coat and asked me if I wanted to come with her and the kids. I was surprised she asked and said yes. I was surprised because a few days earlier she said she wanted to spend time alone with the kids this weekend. We had a nice time at the mall and she was excited to try on her coat. She asked how it looked on her and I said she looked great. We got the kids ice cream and returned home for dinner. During dinner we were having some wine and then she asked, "What is your favorite item in this house that you wouldn't want to part with?" I knew where she was going with this, splitting assets, so I just said I don't have one. She told me it was our bedroom set. She was playing video games with my DS and then he said, "Dad, can you come and play with me?" My WW replied, "I hate when he does that," and when I asked her why she said he always wants to do stuff with you and not me. So, I told my DS that it wasn't fair to his mom when he wanted me to play with him while his mom was already playing with him. She worked out in the evening and I put the kids down for bed. This morning I needed to know, so I asked when her last contact with was. She said it was on the 13th of Oct and then I asked a few more questions. Finally, she said to me, "I like the way you are interrogating me." Then she said, "So I guess you don't want to try what the MC discussed," to which I replied, "What is that?" She said, "Living separately." I replied, "My only goal is to have a better M where we are both happy," and left it at that. So, we almost made it the whole weekend with separation talk, but I guess it was bound to happen. I want her to know that I will not participate in something that will destroy our M and family. Plank, can you tell me when UFWW started warming up to you and how long from D-Day and NC that was? I'm glad to hear other BS experience the same kind of babble from their WWs. My WW seems like she will never warm up to me again. It feels hopeless much of the time. When we touch accidentally in bed, she quickly pulls away. So, when I hear of similar stories that eventually worked out, it gives me some hope for my M. Not a good night last night. We both went to bed and then she says she wants to talk. That is the first time she has said that in a long time, and I knew it wouldn't be about how much she loved me. So, she tells me she is not happy, feels alone, and wants to separate. She wants to sell the house and share the kids. I reply that I won't be part of anything that helps destroy our M or family, that the only goal I have is to have a happy and loving M and family. She says, then you want to do this through the courts. I said I want to rebuild our M. She starts getting angry, saying that we always do things my way and that I never take her into account. I just listened. Then she says, why would you want to stay with me anyway after what happened? I replied, because I care for you very much and want us to be happy together. Then she said, you are going to hold this over my head. I looked at her very lovingly and said, honey, I forgive you for what you did. She got upset and in an arrogant voice said, I don't want your forgiveness. I asked about and if there has been contact. She said no and said this is not about There were some other things said as well, but these were the highlights. I really get the feeling like this will not work. She just seems so focused on getting out and she makes me believe that it really isn't about She slept like a baby and I didn't fall asleep for another few hours. She is really pushing the separation talk and I keep pushing back. Eventually something has to break. She repeated last night that she feels I am trying to make the kids love me more than her. I told her that she won't accept my affection right now, so it is going all to the kids. I also told her it makes me happy to see the kids having a good time with her. I love my kids dearly and love spending time with them. Why does she have a problem with this? More separation talks this weekend coming out of my mouth, and she was upset that I said I would not be moving out of our house. She even asked how I could afford to carry our house on our own, to which I replied I won't have a problem taking care of it. She then said, how are the kids going to feel when their mom moves out? They will feel like I'm abandoning them. No, you don't say. I felt like saying. Then last night at bedtime she says to me, I'm sorry for hurting you. I don't mean to hurt you, but I just want to be honest with you. There is no middle ground here. She is actually sorry for something for the first time in a long time. I never thought I would hear her be sorry about anything again. Maybe there is a heart somewhere inside her. Then she said, I know I've been mean to you at times, but I feel like you are being mean to me. When I asked her to give me an example, she said, when you said you won't sell the house and split the assets. So, she feels she has been meaning to me at times. Too bad she can't see things through my eyes. Well, things seem to be going from bad to worse. It seems with each passing day my is more and more determined to end our M. She just seems to have made up her mind, and I don't think anything will change that now. Last night she brought up the idea of separate bank accounts again, and the talk started. All my faults and ways of how I neglected her came out again. She feels I never did anything to show her that I loved her, and her feelings for me have died. Just so much pain, anger, and resentment on her part that I don't think anything will change her feelings. I basically validated her feelings, and then we talked about how hurt I was by her. I told her I don't know if I can take any more of this. She said she was sorry for the and there is NC, but she keeps saying it isn't about At this point I really think I believe her. She said she doesn't want to hurt me, so then I replied, you told me you had your to hurt me, and now you're saying you don't want to hurt me. She said that she wanted to hurt me for how I alienated her family and reported her to her work. I don't really buy that. I just feel so tired of dealing with all this and trying so hard while she keeps moving further and further away from me. At this point I don't even think Plan B will have any impact. She just wants out and to be alone. She doesn't even want to try. I just feel it might be better, especially for myself, to separate and go on with my life. Every morning brings the same pain, the same hurt. It's a downhill ride that won't end. The feeling of trying so hard to win back someone's love and getting nothing back but coldness is so despairing. At least if I were alone, I wouldn't have to deal with this every single day. She can deal with her own problems and try and live on her own to see how she likes it. All the little things that I do she doesn't even notice or care. Come to think about it, there are a lot of things that bug me about her. Since her job requires that she start early and finish later, she can make her own arrangements to deal with the kids during these times instead of me or my MIL. Maybe she can deal with all the other non-romantic stuff that I do for her, like paying the bills, getting dinner ready, cleaning up, maintaining the cars and house, and just being there whenever she needs me. She said she wants to spend time alone with the kids, so last night she tells the kids to come with her and play while she uses the treadmill. And then she has the nerve to say that I am using the kids against her. I know I have my faults, but just because some starts giving my compliments and treating her nice is no reason for her to submit to an A. At work all they see is the best of each other. Dress nicely, smell nice, no kids, no chores, no rushing to do things, no bills. Just fantasy, and she fell for it. If a romantic life is what she wants and she is not willing to try it with me, then she can try on her own. I am just getting really fed up and need some sort of normalcy back in my life. I need control back in my life, and that is why Plan B is looking really good to me right now. She said she wants us to be civil once we separate. Well, she can be civil all she wants, but I will not be part of that with her. I don't expect her to respond to plan B, so in my case it will be a way to put closure on this mess. No kids' birthday parties together, no attending any functions together with the kids, no spending time together with the kids, nothing. That ideal kills me, but I couldn't stand to see or talk to her knowing we can't be together. She wants me to sell our house and move to 2 different houses so the kids won't think she is abandoning them. I am not selling this house, and if she wants to move out, I will buy her portion out. She thinks that is mean on my part, but I don't care anymore. My kids will be devastated. Sure, they will probably eventually adjust, but it breaks my heart to know what this will do to them. And it is like she doesn't care about that, even saying they will adjust and they'll be okay. I am always thinking that it can't get any worse, but somehow, someway it does. Is there any end to this slow dive into the abyss? She wants us to sell our house and move into separate places and share the kids. I want to split the assets and stay in our house and share the kids, but she feels by doing this it would make the kids feel like she is abandoning them. You don't say. I'm just getting so tired of all this. Update. Lately I have been contemplating whether or not I truly want to make a continued effort to recover my M. My WW seems so intent of separating and destroying our family. I am emotionally exhausted and feel abused. The little things that she did that didn't bother me a few weeks ago are now starting to annoy me. The thought of her with are wreaking havoc on my mind. So, I have all this hurt, all this pain, all this anger. Meanwhile, at work I have been spending time with a co-worker on a major project. A woman. She is bright, kind, interesting, nice, young, good-looking, single, and enjoys my conversation and company. You know where I am heading. Swing 2x4 now, please. Now I can understand why my WW may have been easily attracted to when our M was void of what she needed. When I talk to her, she actually smiles at me and laughs at my jokes. She admires the work that I do and asks me questions about myself. These are all the things I am currently lacking in my M, and it feels good to have someone fill them. I know, it's the fog, but my self-esteem has taken a beating and she makes me feel good about myself again. Why am I tormented like this? Well, I have actually started doing some things for myself. I have bought some new clothes that have boosted my self-esteem, and I am exercising more. As a BS, we become so focused on the WS that we lose focus of the other things that make us happy as well. My main priority is recovering my M, but that has taken from other things that I like to do. I'm trying to get back to those things, but as you know, it is not easy. As for the 180 stuffs, well, I've been busier at work, so I am coming home a little later than normal, and I am dressing better and taking better care of myself. I don't know if she notices or ever cares, but I'm doing it for me. I don't know if she is still in contact with All I can do right now is stay vigilant and try and hold off her separation talk so I can continue planning, and if she is an NC, wait for the fog to slowly clear. I feel so much better that I told my brother about this. He is supporting and helping me so much, just like he always has, and for that I am so grateful. He is doing what a big brother does, I guess. I am so lucky to have him there for me. My goal for this week is no R talk or separation talk unless she brings it up. Just had a long conversation with my mom-in-law and she is furious. She had suspected something all along, but it's so furious that her daughter flat out lied to her when confronted. She lied to her whole family and they are close to disowning her. My mom watches our kids for us when they are not in school, and she is so pissed that my WW has decided to place her head of her family. She is embarrassed and ashamed of her daughter. I made it clear this is not to punish her but to reveal the truth and expose the lies and deceit that fuels an affair. I told her I want to recover our M, but that my WW needs to want to do so also. If my WW decides to leave, she will get zero support from her family. Both my bro wants to talk to OM and discuss what his intentions are. This is going to get ugly very quickly. My feeling is my WW makes a decision to leave since there will be so much guilt, shame and pressure. She will hate me like never before, but I don't care anymore. This needs to come to a head. If she decides to leave, I feel I am in a position now that I can survive. Well, this weekend my WW received the stick part of Plan A. On Friday night my Bill and his wife came over to talk to my WW, so at that point I took the kids out for a drive. My Bill's wife talked to my wife about trying to work on the M, but my WW would have nothing to do with it. She is done, it is over. Then my brother-in-law started grilling her, saying things I know everything and basically raking her over the carpet. Finally, my WW told them both to leave. Then my MIL came over and also grilled my WW for a short while until my WW sent her away. I came home with the kids and she was silent with me. She went to sleep in my son's room and then after an hour came to my bed and said, "So why did you do it?" To which I replied, "I am sick of the lies and can't hide the truth any longer." She said, "It's over. Friday you will get the papers." The weekend was quiet in our house and we only talked of things regarding the kids and necessities. She has taken off her wedding ring again. Then during dinner setting, we had an emotional talk where we both broke down. Very sad. She tried to blame me for her family and our current state, but I wouldn't accept blame for it. She said she couldn't come back because people would think, what is he doing with her after what she did? I told her that people are not judged by their mistakes but by how they deal with them. I tried to stay positive, but I find that I am starting to LB more and more. I just am getting fed up with the whole situation. I just wish she would leave and get it over with. We talked about splitting the assets and she will get another place nearby. I told her that I would love for her to stay and work on the M, but if she really wants to leave, then that is her decision. She just seems so determined to leave and get on with her life. In all honesty, I can't deal with this much longer, so it would be best for her to leave. She is putting up a good front and all this doesn't seem to be bothering her. I don't know if she is faking it or she really doesn't care what I or her family thinks. So, it looks like it is over and I am just trying to plan the division of assets and get settled in with my new situation. Now I don't know when the best time for plan B would be. Right after she moves out might not be the best time. In fact, I may be able to plan her a little longer with her out of the house since I won't be subjected to her constant negativity. I would really like some of the vet's suggestions on when is the best time to plan B. Should I help her in any way to find a new place and move out, or just let her do it on her own? I need a good plan now. I have received tremendous support from my in-laws, but I don't know how long that will last since blood is thicker than mud. So that is it really. Also, I don't think she is on the fence. In fact, I think she is on the other side climbing down. Regardless, plan B is for me and I need it soon. I am growing weary and my love for her is wearing thin. I find myself cursing her more and more in my mind. I think I am also portraying a more indignant attitude around her. For the last 4 months, whenever I sneezed, she said nothing. Then last night I sneezed and she said, "Bless you." I almost fell off my chair and I looked at her and said thanks. Whatever happens with the A, her family will never accept Om. I don't know if she has ended the A, but if it is still alive, this latest exposure has definitely given it a blow to the chin. We sleep in the same bed and we are so close but so far. When I see her sleeping there, it pains me that I can't be with her. It appears as though my WW is planning her escape and will try to enlist the support of her family on Friday. What happens after that is anyone's guess. My gut feeling is that her family continues to disapprove of her actions, but acknowledges the fact that there isn't much they can do about it and resign themselves somewhat. Then my WW will discuss the separation details and she will move out. Not long after that, I will invoke Plan B and move on with my life one way or the other. Lem, you are so right about me being ripe for an affair of my own. I find myself going to the grocery store and noticing some women and think she seems really nice and I would probably enjoy her company. That is where it stops, obviously, but my LB is running on fumes right now. I could so use a talk, hug, kiss. From my W, of course. The family requested the meeting to find out what my WW intentions are, so I don't know how it will all shake down in the end. Family don't know how I can think this way after being betrayed in such a way. I explained to them that I love my W and want her in my life. My sis-in-law said, "You are too classy. My husband would have kicked me out long time ago." So, they clearly know my position, which seems to have reinforced their disdain for my WW actions. As of yesterday, my mom-in-law has stopped watching my kids to show my WW what it will mean to be on her own. Will that type of support last? Who knows? Well, it certainly looks like my WW is feeling guilty about her leaving and me staying in the home. She brought it up again last night and asked me how I would feel, to which I told her I would never abandon my family. That didn't go over too well with her, of course. She keeps trying to spin it her way. Then I told her if she is obviously intent on leaving, then maybe she should do it now before the holidays, since the day-to-day torture is wearing me down. I told her she could visit the kids whenever she wanted. She didn't like this at all and told me that I am being mean and that she expects me to punish her for leaving. She also said she would never agree to me having custody of the kids. She said, "Where can I go without any money?" I told her to go to her mom's house. She didn't like that either. She said she can't get over her lack of feelings for me and the things I keep doing. Specifically, she was referring to my continued snooping and exposure. She says, "Just as things seem to be going better, you tell my family." What she really means by better is that I was leaving her alone to continue her R with Om. So, it looks like she is staying put for the time being. Really, I am feeling better about myself and don't feel as anxious about her leaving. I know what I have to offer, and if she can't see that, then it will be her loss. My first priority would be to recover my M, but I'm starting to feel that I will be fine if she doesn't come around. This morning I had a long conversation with her mother, who told me she spoke to her priest at church who would like to see the both of us. I told her I would love to go, but I don't think my WW will be willing. She also provided me with some additional detail on the family meeting. Apparently, her brothers let her know that they will be monitoring her, and if they find any continued contact with OM, they will bring it to her company to have them both fired. My WW also complained that I spent $180 per session for counseling with SH. When my MIL heard this, she put the screws to my WW by saying that it was money well spent, and that she knows my WW drops hundreds of dollars on clothes at a time, and asked her what was more important. They know they can't change her feelings, however, they won't condone her actions. Well, yesterday I sat my WW down and let her know that I will not put up with this emotional abuse any longer. I first asked her if she was intent on separating, to which she said yes, 100%. So then I asked her to follow through with her plans now and not wait until after Christmas. When I told her she couldn't take the kids or furniture, she got upset and said she wouldn't leave. Then she started saying things to make me feel guilty and started crying. She just has no feelings for me and she doesn't even want to try. She said if I don't agree to 50-50 custodies, she will call in a mediator. If that happens, I know she will win the dispute. She said it was over between her and and that it was a mistake and asked why I keep holding it over her head. She said it wasn't about him, to which I replied, then how could you give yourself to someone you don't care about? She didn't reply. She told me she was sorry several times throughout the day and even as she lay down for bed. She said she can't see herself coming back, especially after it became a PA, since she feels it will be held against her. I told her there is always a way to make a marriage work, but she seems resigned to the fact that it is over. She feels I blame her for all that is happening, at which point I told her that I am aware of the things I did or didn't do prior to make the situation ripe for her, but it does not excuse the affair. She then started bringing up the many flaws that I had. It is just a really sad situation right now. When I told my WW she could leave but without the kids or furniture or selling the house, she said, where do you expect me to go without anything? She said, why don't you leave? And when that didn't wash with me, she said, then I'll just stay here. I don't want to get stuck in this limbo state for too long of a period. I will restate what I said yesterday to her to let her know what I mean. This is what I plan on telling her tonight. I can't agree to a separation until we have examined all possible methods to recover our and since it is in the best interest of our kids to have two parents who are in love with each other and have a family that lives happily under one roof, I will not allow them to be broken up from their parents. Something like that. While she was gone, I received a call from my bro, the younger one, and we had a long talk. He is the one who has managed to maintain a good relationship with my WW through all of this. He basically called me to let me know that he doesn't want me to think that her family has sided with my WW on the situation. He told me he is going to start investigating her whereabouts to find out for himself if she is continuing the R with OM. He told me that her R with OM will never be accepted by him or her family, and if she thinks she can shack up with him, she will have to get a restraining order against my bro-in-law and his family. I was glad to hear that and told him I appreciated his support. My WW told him that she has no more feelings for me and states the incident in her car with was a mistake and there is no R with I don't buy that, and I don't think my bro buys it either. That is why he wants to start snooping on her. He had two friends who left their wives, both of whom said there was no opus involved when asked. Later, he found out that there definitely was an opus in the picture in both cases, so he is very suspicious of my WW claims right now. He was very clear to her in front of her family when he said that if he finds out that the R is continuing, she will be abandoned by her family. My WW continues to deny that the R is ongoing. He asked me to come to him if I find out anything new. I know she doesn't want to lose her family, so this pressure from her family will make her hard about what she is doing. He asked me why I haven't left her yet since she had an affair on me and he would have left his wife. They have no kids, to which I told him that I still love her very much and want to have her as my wife and part of my family. I also let him know that her actions have hurt me deeply and that this whole situation has probably taken years off my life. I get the impression that my WW wants me to do something to make her decision to leave easier. When I told her to leave now rather than after the holidays if that was her true intent, she made comments to me and her family that I wanted her out and that I really don't want to make it work. Later, upon arriving home, my WW commented that my kids were excited to see the Christmas lights I had put up and I think she was pleased also. I asked her how the concert went and she told me it was very nice and the kids got a little restless towards the end. It was Christian-based concert. I took care of some of the things around the house so she wouldn't have to when she got home. I'm trying to finish up with a strong plan, so that is what she remembers when I go to plan B. After putting the kids down for bed, we just watched TV together for a couple of hours. Not much talking between us, but it was a relaxing environment. I feel a certain calmness today to which I haven't felt in a long time. I don't know how long this will last, but I'll try to enjoy it for now. Update: talked to my WW last night about her Christmas party and I calmly told her that her going alone bothers me. She turned it around saying that this is a result of me calling her work, exposing, and she said, how do you think I will feel telling people where my husband is? She told me she is going with her work friend who I despise and that OM will not be at her party since each office location has separate parties on the same night. I went to last year's party and I can confirm this. Also, OM is a manager at his location, so he will have to be at his party. She said she is only going for dinner and will leave once the dancing starts. I'm still upset but glad that I let her know that her attendance without me is bothersome. I just found out the PI started work yesterday afternoon and followed my WW after work. This is what happened. WW leaves the office with her wretched girlfriend and they go to liquor store to buy some stuff. Then they proceed to Chinese takeout. Then they go to a house 15 minutes away and in the area where I suspect lives. They both go inside. I'm not sure if they took the takeout with them. Shortly after they come out and they proceed to pick up WW friend's kids from daycare. Then my WW drive friend and kids home and then makes her way to our home. But whatever, my wife came home with 4 bottles of wine. Her friend doesn't drive and I can't help but feel my WW is a taxi for her. If this is where OM lives, this would be first time. I am aware of that. WW has been there. Her friend is definitely enabling the and it makes me sick. This is a very good start for PI and I am now anticipating D-Day number 3. I'm praying for some paydirt type pictures or video. I feel sad knowing this and knowing that I will have to hurt my WW again with exposure. This time it could get really ugly if the evidence is good. I really don't want to hurt her even though she is putting me through He-11. She will think it is revenge or punishment for sure. I think she may have met up with him today as well since it was the last time they had together before Christmas. I just have a gut feeling that will hopefully be confirmed by Pi next week. This PI is doing good so far. I will eventually ask her to leave and feel like doing so right now. She will not leave without the kids or some of the assets. If the PI can wrap up his investigation in a couple of weeks and I expose immediately, then I will plan it for another few weeks if she doesn't leave. After I expose, she will threaten to have me served in days like last time, and this time she just might. I'm at a point where I am looking forward to a separation to relieve me from this constant agony. Hopefully I will be able to use some of the PI info in a custody dispute. I don't want my kids involved with kind of crap. The exposure will seem like punishment to her for sure. Just got back from talking with my lawyer and I feel better about my situation. He said my finances are safe and I don't need to take any extraordinary precautions other than monitoring the accounts. I will be canceling our joint credit card and accounts as my WW suggested since I don't like my hard-earned money going towards her lifestyle. He said to listen to her and if she wants to separate to tell her that she can leave anytime, but not with the kids or any assets. He said not to offer any financial support for a new place if she decides to go that route. He said the mother had almost automatic custody 20 years ago, but things are different now and he thinks I have a good shot at custody if it goes there. The only thing I worry about is if I say this and she hunkers down, then we are both in a miserable marriage. How does that help? I think my WW sees that I am wearing down and see an opportunity to get me to cave in. I'm sure she will try to negotiate tonight by saying I won't have to pay CS or she won't ask for half of my retirement savings. Well, I just received an email response from my WW which asks for the following. February 1st is the separation date. How much time I will give her to find a new place and move out. 50-50 with the kids, but she still wants primary. She would do things like purchase clothes and divide the expense with me. She would check with me first before purchasing anything. 1 week kids with me and 1 week kids with her. Wednesday nights kids would spend a couple of hours with other parent for dinner and be returned. Update. My WW spent most of her Sunday packing up her stuff in boxes, so I tried keeping busy doing other things. It's an awful feeling seeing you WW packing her things. It leaves a real empty feeling inside of you. During dinner I asked her when she was planning on leaving and she replied, "You can't wait until I'm gone, can you?" So, I said, "Why do you always seem to justify to yourself that I want you out?" She said when I asked if you would want me to take everything now or take it some at a time, you said you would prefer if I take it all at once since it makes it easier for you. It's always about you. Is there something wrong with telling my WW that I prefer to have her take her items in one move? She used this against me, saying I thought I could take some stuff and see if my feelings change, but you want me to take it all and leave. After pressuring my WW to move out, this is the response I just received from her. BS, I've already advised you that my lawyer has all the documents in her hands and she is drafting up the agreement. I can't go any faster than I currently am going. If there is something I'm doing that is causing you to be so eager to have me move out, let me know. I need the terms of our agreement to be agreeable to both of us, so unless this goes smoothly, I might just extend my stay. Regarding great pain, I know you're sad and I know I'm the cause, but you act like I'm having a great time with all this. You'll never know what this has done to me and you'll never understand. You've been mean to me too. So as soon as I know, I'll let you know about my moving date and then you won't have to see me again. End of email. My WW will be looking for houses tonight and tomorrow. I've told her that she needs to leave a S&P before I begin to feel hate for her. She needs money to put a deposit on a new house, and when she asked me for a $10,000 loan, I told her to use her credit card instead. She also said that she doesn't like my lawyer, and when I asked her why, she told me that her lawyer informed her that my lawyer is one of the top divorce lawyers in the city. I really didn't know this since it was my older brother who referred me to him through one of his clients. I will have to thank him for that. I think my WW is intimidated that I retained a lawyer with such a strong reputation. I was painfully close to entering into an emotional affair with a co-worker a few weeks ago. Looking back, I can't believe that was me who was saying those things and feeling that way. Call it fog or whatever you like. I was confused and feeling emotions that I haven't felt in a very long time, and my emotions were beginning to guide my decisions. My comment, as much as you love her, she needs to face the reality of the separation. She does not love you anymore and she is facing the financial burden of that decision. Even as you are separating from her, she wants to eat her cake. This marriage can't be saved. At least you are getting out with your house to your name.